What's going on, guys? Hip Paws here with a video on some tips and tricks and some discussion about skin weighting and some problems that can come up and some possible solutions. Now, I'm actually even going to talk about a couple of problems that I found that I don't have a solution for, and that's actually going to be the first one that we're going to talk about. And I have a theory on how I can fix my problem, but I don't have an actual solution yet. As far as I'm concerned so far, things have been broken. So the theory is this, and I'm going to show you guys real quick here. I have my rat character here, and if I take a look at the envelopes here, and if I go into mirror mode across the Y plane, if you notice, I have blue on one side, blue verts on one side, and I have green on the other. If I zoom out, you can see blue on the right and green on the other. However, if you're being a little bit more observant, you'll also see that a couple of these verts are red. Certain things on the backpack. For instance, the character actually has a strap underneath this backpack strap on his right side, which he doesn't have on his left side. Just to break up the symmetry in a small sense, but it's there, right? But the other thing that you may or may not notice is that the arms are completely red. Every vert on the arms is red. Completely. Okay, you can see that clear as day. Hopefully, that's red right there. Okay, for the colorblind people, I apologize. I apologize for the colorblind people. I do. This is, in fact, right here, this seam right here, all of the rest of these are red. These are up here are green, okay? And the reason for that, when this happened, why? Well, the question is, why did I lose symmetry? Why doesn't it recognize these things? If I try to mirror this, it doesn't work. You'll see again, you know, this piece of the belt is red because there's nothing on the other side for it to associate a vert with. There's no mirrored vert there. And it knows because it would have the same Z and X, and it would have a negative version of its Y position. That's how you can tell something's, you know, a mirror. So what happened was, originally the arms were a separated mesh that were also skinned, and I brought them in by attaching them together. And not only did I lose the skin weighting that was already on the arms, I had done not too much, but I had made a few adjustments to the fingers, just very, very slight adjustments to the fingers. Nothing major. It didn't take me but a couple of seconds, but I wanted to retain it because I wanted to be a little bit more certain about what I was doing. Because what if I had done like 5 hours worth of editing to the fingers and everything else, or you know, or I had, you know, the boots were a different mesh and I had combined those together. You know what I'm saying? And I had done a lot of weighting because maybe I had a whole bunch of shoelaces and things in there that needed all kinds of weights to it, and I have shoelace bones, you know. I've done a lot of work, let's just assume that, but I've done it to separated meshes here, because if you notice, if I unhide them, I do have a couple of separated meshes here, some that are very easy to skin. They just have this individual bone that they're attached to, and you can see I fucked it up here, but that's okay. I can fix that in any moment. However, if I were to say, you know what, I want these together, and I come here and I attach these, just go ahead and match the material, you'll see, let's come out of here. Actually, wait, I think I screwed it up and it's auto saving. Okay, there we go. Shut that off, come here. You can see now it's all dickered. It didn't keep that at all. It didn't keep its original skin weights, you know. That would be nice if it did, because it was the same skeleton. So it'd be nice if there was like some kind of way to skeletal attach or something. I'm undoing it, might crash. Nope. Okay, good. So we lose the skin weights on it. However, there is an actual solution for that. I'm not going to do it on, well, maybe I could do it on these pouches, but it seems a little silly. I think it would be better to do it on something like the rat's head, where the skin weighting is more difficult to reproduce, because I have skin weighting on this guy that I've spent some time adjusting. I got good flops in the ears. I can make him blink Actually, in fact, here, I'll just turn it on. Okay, you can see my test pose. He's blinking. Okay, let me turn it off. And the mouth works good. Okay, so I've done some work. Okay, you can see it pulls the rest of the mouth okay. I could do a little more work. Obviously, there's a frickin' Skinner's job is never done, to be honest. But you know, it's okay right now. There's work in it, right? I definitely put some work in it. I think he's cute as shit. He is actually modeled directly off of my nephew's actual rat, Brutus. This is Brutus. It's pretty accurate to him, actually. The way he looks, the nose and everything. So it's actually more of a realistic rat head this time, which is funny because when it's just the rat head by itself, it looks like a deer to me. I don't know why. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to detach his head. So in order to do that, and to keep the skin weights, okay, you can't just detach. If I just detach, it's just going to pull the polygons out, and that object won't have a skin modifier on it. What I need to do is actually take this and clone it, okay, as a copy, not an instance, and we'll call this infantry rat underscore head. I'll say okay. Now that's a perfect cloned copy. If I turn on animation, there's two meshes there. If I turn it on, you can see they're both going with it. So there's no disparity. There isn't one left behind or anything like that. Okay, so we'll go to the infantry rat head mesh here, and all I need to do is just come here, grab everything up here. I'll get the helmet too, and then just hit Control I and delete. Okay, and that's that gone. Then I come back to my original here. This is my infantry rat. Now I'm going to take a precautionary move here and say original. Okay, just so I can go back. I don't have to go reloading files, right? Got a copy of that, and then I'll dupe that one more time now for what I'm going to fiddle with. And this will be infantry rat headless. Okay, so we'll get rid of that. Let's hide the pouches. We can get rid of the original infantry rat, so we're just going to work with the head and the headless. Okay. That's what the whole world boils down to. You're either dealing with people that have heads or without them. Oops, I went the wrong way. I didn't mean to invert. There we go. So just delete the head. Keep the body this time, right? So now, again, I have two separate objects, and you can see that the head is still skin meshed, right? Still working, still following the animation, no problem. When I go into animation mode, I don't want to adjust it here because it's not animation mode. And if I hide the body, you know, there's just the head and there's the body, right? So now I'm like realizing, this is theoretical, I'm realizing now that my skin weights here are de-dickered, right? They don't work anymore. They are de-dickered. This is no longer the same. Now, the way to actually get, say if 2 points are supposed to be in the same spot and they've now drifted apart, you've lost them, the fix for that is actually to come over here to this tool, and what you do is, I'll take, here, let me do this. I'll put him in pose. It's also a good idea to animate in pose, by the way. And I'll just take this bone and I'll give it like a stretch back, okay? And then I'll come here to the head and adjust the skin weight. So I'll grab the edit envelopes. I'll go to vertices, and I will pick this one right here, and I will just, to the head bone, I will just Z here. I gotta zoom in on it. I gotta make sure I get the right one while my zoom's going spastastic. That, let's say spine 4 gets that entirely. Okay, so see how it's now, it's wrong, and I want to get it back there. So then I'm like going over here. I don't know which bone. Is it the neck, the head? Which one? I erased them all, so I'm now screwed. So the answer is to use the copy and paste right here. Okay, so what you do is I gotta go over to this object. Well, I'm gonna go over here and come into the skin modifier, grab that vert, copy, come out of the skin modifier, grab this guy, go back in there, click this guy, and hit paste. And that puts it in the same spot. Whatever this, the one that I copied, whatever its influences were amongst all of these bones, because it shows you the list. Whenever you pick a vert, it shows you every bone that actually is available on this list. A lot of them are zeroed, but it writes to that bone so that it can be blended to. It's kind of a convenience sake. If these weren't on here, it would be a real pain in the ass later, because you have to start finding them in different places. It's actually a godsend that it fills the list based on the general area of bones that could influence it. You can see that it doesn't really mess too much with, you know, things like the finger bone. It didn't add them or anything like that. It added kind of like the major bones. So it's okay to do that. But the problem is that every time I wanted to copy and paste to make this fix, I had to keep jumping in and out of this thing, right? And it was kind of a pain in the ass. So in order to speed that up, and because let's just say I want them combined, it's easier to combine the mesh, because then I could have just said, hey, you know, copy, click, paste, and I would have done that between these two verts, but that's all I would have done. It would have been that quick. Instead of copy, come out, click over here, go in, click on the vert, copy, come over here, come out, come over here, you forget what I'm doing, you know, like it gets irritating. And then you got to do that around the whole ring of the entire neck, right? Because I'm assuming that the whole thing's screwed up. So combining the meshes would be optimal. Now, so there is the fix for getting a vert in the same position. You can use the copy and paste from the bone tools here. This should basically always be up on your screen if you are skin weighting. If it's not, something's going wrong. I'm just gonna give you some advice there. You got loop and ring and blend. This is a very, very happy tool here. Use this often. It's how I actually got the mouth results here. I grabbed the lips and I set them to 1 on the jaw, and then I hit grow, blend, grow, plus, blend, grow, you know, shrink, blend, you know. I just kept doing that, and these were the results, just by bouncing these buttons back and forth. With, you know, like I said, I got a clean ring here, and then I just blended it. You can see how it blended out, and I just hit blend. So the blend button is a very good one, and using grow and shrink, and this button here, I want to explain this button here. This button is very handy, and the reason is because let's say, for instance, that we come over here, and I just want to make sure I'm not on element, and just for no reason, I want to take these two verts and I want to give them some influence on the jaw, right? You'll notice that the jaw is not on this list because it just didn't figure it out, but it is here. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to make them come down, let's say like 0.8, right? But I want this one to be like down further, because I want this to be like a tooth or something that comes down, right? That's the idea, right? And I want this relationship between these two. I like that. That's the angle of my tooth, right? Here's the thing. If I now want to move this up and down, like with this relationship, if I use this over here, I actually even them out to the same value. Boom. They both become 0.46. When this is empty, if I click this and then hold control and click this becomes empty. Any field in max that is empty indicates that you have multiple values possible, meaning multiple objects selected. So there's 2 here, and the absolute effects on them are different. If I want to actually increase this, we use this button here, plus, minus. That takes whatever their values are and increases it based on what it was, not by just, you know, blanket statementing it and saying, okay, they're all this value. You can't, you know, that sucks. So, and that's not anywhere on here that you can do, anywhere out here. That's only in the weight tools. The weight tools is the number one thing you guys need to be using here, okay? Scaling the weights, okay? You can see how the relationship is actually growing in this case because they're being scaled. And you can change the amount of increment that you're changing here, so it's smaller. I actually found that this is kind of weird. See, that's not seeming to have a big change. I think maybe if you go like that, yeah, that's what this is. So if I say, that's weird, and I go 0, what did it put it to? Who took this vert, right? It's supposed to be the head, so it's a 1, right? And that fixes it. So to play around with it, right, I'm just playing around with it now, but there's a lot of stuff that you can do in here. I haven't really explored everything. I don't exactly know what paste position means, or paste position tolerance. I have a feeling it might be a magic button, so go ahead and explore it. But otherwise, blend, 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 okay? Just, and you most of the time you gotta hit like 3 or 4 times, but you know, watch what you're doing. Don't just spaz out on it because you can overdo it. It's how I fixed this. It's how I fixed the elbow. Did I fix the elbow? I had fixed the elbow perfectly. I don't know how I broke it. Interesting. Let me take a look. Let's go in here. And we want the left forearm. Am I in envelope mode? I'm not sure what happened. I'm going to load the skin weights that I had saved. Okay. Houston. I'll be honest, I don't know what I did wrong, but hitting undo a couple of times fixed it, so I must have hit something weird, but yeah, that was weird. Anyways, back to the point. The idea is we want to try to get this recombined, and there's a theory behind the whole thing. Okay, again, if I just attach the head, it's not going to take the skin modifier. I need to get these things actually figured out. Now here's the other thing too. You can't save and load because once you attach them together they no longer have the same vert IDs. Right? This thing is going from 0 to 1,000 or 10,000. This is going from 0 to 30,000. Right? So as soon as I attach this, this is now going from 30 to 40,000. It's no longer going from 0 to 10. In the vert IDs, nothing works. Nothing does. And that makes sense. So the fix is actually over here in the skin utilities. Now, I haven't had any good results with this yet. I'm going to be perfectly honest, this is a thing that I haven't figured out yet, but this is supposed to be the fix. And what you do is you say extract skin data to mesh. You go boing, and you get a mesh here that's named the same thing, right? And it's called skin data underscore. Now that name matters. And apparently what you're supposed to do is take both of these. So here's the head, and I'll extract that as well. Okay, if we look at the head, these two by themselves, what we'll notice is that if we go to the tools channel info, what we get is all kinds of maps. Okay, you can see all these skin data maps here. So what it's done is it's taken the skin weight information and it has baked it into the verts themselves, specifically in different maps. So I guess there's probably a map for every bone or something. I don't know. I was expecting to see names there. So that's why I don't know. Like maybe why I'm not getting good results, because all mine just come out with just the same name. Now I've caught wind that having multiple materials on your mesh screws this up. So my headless and my original definitely have a bunch of materials on them. Now, like I said, oh weird, he just turned purple out of nowhere. Like I said, like he was holding his breath, right? But now I lost freaking track of what I was gonna do. When I do this method, I was tempted to go through and show you what happens doing it this way, but to be honest, I'd rather try it in the way that I think is gonna work. So let's take this. Let's take all these. I don't give a shit if I have to redo this. That's fine. I can do that, no problem. So I want to make sure that they're all one ID. So I'm going to right click that spinner. That's going to make them all ID 1. Okay. He's all green. And then I'm going to do the same thing for this guy. So just hit this and then Control A. And just right click right here. And come out of here. Put the skin modifier back on. Make sure skin modifier is on. Confirm that. Yes. Both the head and the body. Okay. Now, I wonder if I can do them both at the same time. Well, no. That just gave me the head. Well, can I undo that? No, undo doesn't work on that. But what did I... That I want to get rid of. I'll do them one at a time. So we will extract, and then grab the body, and then extract. Then I'll isolate these two together. Now I think the theory is that you're supposed to attach them because it's all baked into the verts, right? Let's see what we got with the channel info. Let's check that. Where is it? Channel info. Well, it doesn't really look any different, except there's more verts on each one, all the verts. So I don't know. Maybe that is the difference, right? Okay. So we'll isolate there. We'll hide that. Now the theory, I think, is get out of here. Attach. Let's just make sure it's all ID 1. It is. Okay. And then we're going to reapply and add the bones. And let's make sure select children is on. It is. So I'll just click there. Hit select. Alright. Grab this transform and remove it. That's the one bone I don't use. And then import the data from the mesh. However, infantry rat underscore headless, infantry rat underscore headless. Okay, they do have the same name, so I at least was smart enough to attach them in the same order. This matters, so you got to check this first. This should be the exact same name as this, including all the caps and everything, and then the prefix of skin data with a capital S followed by a capital D. I'm just saying that so you know to make sure that it's the same name. Okay, I'm going to even show it to make sure that it can be grabbed in the world. And I'll grab that, and I'll say import data from mesh, and the documentation says that it is supposed to pop open a window for me to paste all that information from. I never get that. Like I get nothing when I do this. So this is where I got stuck. And if we take a look, right? So it just it found some stuff okay. Like it found the elbow. It actually did. That's what I did. I actually had to edit it to get it to be this shape. It normally was straight across right here. I pulled. You can see I'm pulling this further. But this is completely dickarood. Obviously the head didn't. Now he looks like fucking Rocky Dennis. Or like he just got hit by Kenshiro. You know, it's like, so I don't really know. Maybe I you know, if you guys know how this is supposed to work, I would really appreciate knowing, and I'm sure everybody else would too. You can see it did, you know, a fairly average okay job, but I mean I lost it, right? It's gone. And the other thing, you know, you might think, oh, you know, I can load my original skin weights. That's even worse. Because when I detached and reattached, I reassigned all the vertex IDs. So my original, thank God I saved this, right? I mean, that's why I saved it. So I could try again maybe, but I really don't know what the answer is. This is supposed to do it. I don't know why this wouldn't work, but it's supposed to bring up a window when you hit this, and I'm assuming that because I'm not getting a bunch of IDs, I'm going to do some research on this right now and hit the pause button. If I can't figure it out in the next 10 minutes, I'm just going to come back and say, hey, maybe you guys know. That's it. Okay, well the first thing that it might be is that I might be a complete fuckwad, and you're supposed to have them both selected. Asshole. Okay, a match by name. I'm waiting. Did it do it? What did it do? It didn't. Clearly didn't fix anything. Right? It did bring up the window though. That was impressive. Let me try that again. Match by name. It seems the same. I mean, these have colons. Match by name, I mean, it brings them over. I guess I can pick and choose. But I had it this way, that's the thing. Okay, so you would pick the two and then hit the arrow. But when I hit OK, I don't get. Oh well, I know why. Hang on. Derp. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. I know why it's not working. They gotta match positions, which they don't do because I got it all dickered. There we go. Now it'll work. I say that. Bam. 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 Click. Bam. Bam. Oh. 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 Did I lose any of it? Well, I lost one. I lost a vert on the eye. Unless that was dickered on my original. That was dickered on the original. So I didn't lose nothing. Yeah, it's messed up on the original. Oh, good. Oh, that is so good. That is quite latte. So that's refreshing. I'm gonna admit it. Good solution. So yeah, this guy here. Yeah, I was just screwing it up because I didn't have them both selected. That was dumb of me. But that's funny. I didn't spend too much time trying it. I only tried it once beforehand, and I was like, eh. But I decided to go over the video because these are the things that people get truly stuck on. These truly are, and I know it. And that's part of my goal, is to try to help the people with the things that I get stuck on after being doing this for a really long time. I do see a lot of people getting stuck on a lot of things that I don't address because it's just one of those things. It's like I can't really help you in that case. You're gonna get stuck on some stuff, your own self, and just like I do. And sometimes it's things you guys are talking about that I've never been stuck on or whatever. But in the case of where I needed to try to combine these things so I could just work faster, because it's really easy to uncombine, but it's not easy to recombine. However, now it is, to be honest, because you get these guys here. But yeah, you saw what happened when I tried to do it with them in different positions. So one of the main things is that they be in the same position. So in my case, that just means to go back into setup mode on the cat rig, and then that's the both meshes in the dead same position. So when I look at this by itself, There it is. Now this is safe here. Now this is essentially a saved version of the skin weight file. So it's really quite handy, in my opinion, to maintain something like this. So if you had, you know, your character all, and the cool thing too is it can be combined, it can be cut apart, it can be, you know, put back together. It doesn't make a difference. I don't know if I had to do the materials or not. I really don't know that, because I did actually, you know, you can see here this guy's got separated materials. So I could try it, but I don't think it really matters, to be honest, because like I said, it's just so easy to go back and reselect the elements and reset the materials. I wouldn't worry about it. I mean, you can see where I've done a bunch of the patchwork here. The whole reason why I combined them was so that I could patch this together. I didn't want to deal with trying to match by snapping verts to a separate object. That's just so much easier for me to just bridge and things like that to make this connection. So that was the reason why I needed to put the head back on, because I was originally keeping it separate. Now I do still need to create a very low res version of the head and the arms, including the hand pretty much up to the top of the palm, like kind of like one of those ninja glove things, going all the way up around his arm. But not on his fingers, because that's going to be the fur growth mesh, and I got to wipe out the inside of the ear on that, and make, just like I said, it's got to make it real low res. I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to allow the helmet to be removed in game, meaning it gets popped off. One of the original things that we have going in our UDK version is that the first time you get shot in the head, you do not die, you just ping your helmet off, and you can run over and put it back on, so you can save yourself from a headshot. It's the only thing you can save yourself from. You still get hit in the body. So we thought it was a very cool mechanic that you could protect yourself from the one-shot sniper headshot, but you only get one of those, and anybody could shoot that helmet off your head, but you could retrieve it and get it back on your head. So I'm gonna probably put that back in the game. Because I love it. I think it was a genius idea. And it wasn't my idea, it was my programmer's. Who is Paul Thomas, who's a genius programmer. There's a plug for you, buddy. Right? Okay. I think we're probably pretty good here. However, there is one more thing I just want to show you guys if you're still interested in watching and hoping to glean any more info if you're stuck on this kind of shit. What is this kind of like the way, you know, just like the fastest way to do it, you know? Like to get from start to finish. I'm not gonna show you guys the start to finish, but I'll show you guys the way I work. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clone this real quick as a copy, and I'll hide that one, and I will bye-bye, and I will re-add. Let's not be isolating. And we'll go here, select that, and then I just want to get rid of the transform bone. Okay. Let's go ahead and take this, take a look. Let's go ahead, let's hide that guy. Let me make sure I'm in animation mode. Already you can see, you know, the standard application of the skin weighting modifier is total horseshit, right? It's garbaggio. Let me get rid of that guy. That's my main guy. Okay. Alright, so the very first thing I do is come here and hit this button and hit apply. And immediately I get mostly slightly fixed results. Okay. And then for instance, the way I fixed this over here was I came over first. I'm going to be in edit envelope, vert mode. I don't care for this or this. Keep everything else on, and then we pop open our weight tool immediately, and I like to dock it about right there. And what I do is I grab, say, about that vert there, and I'm going to go grow about there or so. And if I take the upper arm, you can see it's grabbing a whole ton of it. So I would just pull it back like to about there. Okay, then I hit grow, and then I hit blend. And that was it. So fixed. And then I come over here and I say, oh, maybe I want this to be different. So I come over here and I have to pick two verts here because otherwise it won't know what we're talking about. A loop will grab, it will continue it along the line. A ring will go, down each, the opposite, perpendicular to that. Okay, but we want a loop, and essentially, let me just grow, and let's go to the bones that it actually is. It's the calf here. And what I may do is I may say, I want that to be a little bit more to the calf, right? And then I'll just go grow, blend. Okay, then I can go shrink, plus, grow, blend. And I can keep bringing it in that direction in any way I want. It's like super easy and fast. And I can tune it any way I want. Now, if I, want to get even more, crazy with it, I can do something like this, and I can say, okay, I want that to be way out, and I just grow, and then blend, plus, grow, blend. You can see it pulls them more forward every time. Okay, and so I kind of shift this paradigm forward, and it keeps a nice natural feel to the whole thing too. Areas like this are more difficult. For something like this, I found very difficult. This little flap that I have on his thing. So if I come here and I say loop, I think I grabbed two completely separate vertices here. Let me hit Z and back up one. It's that guy, loop. There we go. So that gets the whole ring here. And then what I would do is I would take half of this out because I only want to affect this side. Down here seems okay, so I'll leave about that alone. This is what I usually do, is kind of go in and go, okay, these are okay. And this on the thigh, left thigh, where is it? Oh, it's got to be on this list somewhere. Left thigh here. I'll just go, okay, plus. Okay, and then grow, blend, plus, blend, plus, right? You can make a song out of it. But you can go too far and it can get kind of weird, so I go shrink, and then plus, and then grow, and then blend. And you can kind of walk it in that way. That's basically what I've been doing to get these results here. The backpack was actually quite interesting, because let me come out of the skin modifier. You can't tell what's going on here. It's actually you'll also notice that I came out of the skin modifier and I cannot click on any of the bones. Notice that? They're not there. That's just a bug that's been in Max since like 2008. All you gotta do is hit Control A and then click out, and then they're there. I don't know what that's all about, but it's a long-standing bug, for real. What was I gonna talk about here, real quick? Shit. Oh yeah, the backpack. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm gonna show this motion layer, and you can see that the backpack gets this like crazy skewing, and especially when it moves, it's like whoa. So what I did was come here, go back to the skin modifier, and I went element, and I said boom, and what I'm actually looking for is spine 3. It just takes most of the chest around here, and you can actually hit play here, and I can just go pop, 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 until that. I don't want to wipe it. I don't want this thing to be rigid, right? I want it to have some bend in it, but the more I push it to the one bone, the more I'm just like tuning that out. So now it's just got a little bit of sway to it, and if he rolls and stuff like that, it won't be completely off. But you see that I got a lot of the things wrong on the straps, right? So I can kind of just do the same thing. I am still in select element, so I'll just grab these here, and then I'll get rid of the backpack because I pretty much finished that, right? And just start playing again, and then just keep hitting plus until it goes back to matching the backpack. Pretty simple. And see, I can't make selections while it's playing. Maya's actually good in that regard. It pauses it once you start clicking, and then your selection actually goes through, and then once you let go, it starts playing again. It's kind of actually pretty handy. And now, now that I've got it all, though, I can come back here and I can, Because if I go all the way rigid, you can see that, you know, it's not horrible, but it is all the way rigid. And I kind of don't like that. I'd much rather have a little bit of malleability to the whole thing. Okay, now I'll show you how I fixed something like this. The strap normally feeds in about right here. For the most part, these verts, let's come off of a select element here. For the most part, these verts are 0.853, 0.861. They're very close, but they're not the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to find one that's close enough. I'm just going to say copy, just somewhere in this area. One of these four, any one of them will do. And then what I'll do is I'll grab these verts here, and I can tell where they are. I don't want to grab any other verts. And I'll paste that. Okay? And then once again, grow, grow, blend. Okay? But in this case, I want to get rid of that when I hit blend. Blend, blend, blend. And if we hit play, I return the connection. I get a little bit of stretch, but I need it. I could do the same thing for this strap over here. You just copy this general area. Let's try it. Let's go about right there. So this is the vert that I want to match. So I'm going to say copy that guy. I'm going to come here, and let me. Here's another recommendation. You'll notice that it's very difficult. I can't. If I hit Z and then I zoom out, I'm still not rotating around it. It's a total pain in the ass. It's actually due to the type of suborbit object thing that I'm in here. It's actually better to just orbit, and then you hit Z, and now I'm actually, no matter, even when I zoom in and out, I'm orbiting basically around that point. Okay, so it's a little bit easier to see what's going on, because I need to be able to tell which one of these is what. So I think I can grab that one and hit loop. No, that did not work. You can see these are totally dickered, so I'm just going to grab them by hand like that, and then I'm going to hit paste. I hit Z here. Okay, and you can see that did pull it out. Now the other thing I could do is I could just say, okay, well, let me copy this one. Copy, and then see if I can't find a good view of this here where I can snag just those verts and then paste. Okay, and then from this point I would grow like twice and get rid of this probably, and then just hit blend. Maybe even get rid of that and hit blend a few times. Get rid of those. Blend that. Hell, just grab all of it. Well, it really actually, you know, the blend only affects the values of the verts, but I would keep a selection isolated. Like you saw how I dragged through there and I ended up getting a bunch of shit on this other side. I wouldn't necessarily want spine 3 to blend with some verts over here. I don't think it will, but I don't want to let it try. So I just hit blend there. Spine 3 here, I don't know if I go up or down. You see I have both of them selected, but for the most part, it doesn't pass through anymore. I got a little bit of problem here, right? I got a little bit of unnaturalness going on. It's really having an issue grabbing these loops where I am. There we go. Oops, well I did that a little bit premature. Well, actually no. I just want to blend that. Spine 3, it's actually the left collarbone I need to blend that with. Maybe I need to start blending a little bit more up here. Let's take a look at the animation. Okay. This one here definitely needs work. So I'll loop that one, and I just need to figure out what bone I need to send it to. I don't think it's this one. That's taking it away. If I go too far down, that's 0, and I don't know what's getting the influence. I know there's a little bit in the upper arm. If I take more of that to the upper arm, what I think I may do is copy that one. I might just match it down the line. So I would grab that. and then loop, and then paste, and then copy that. And paste, and I could keep going down the line there like that. So that's how I would do it. So these segments here are exactly matching the way the verts go. So if you have unmatching topology, try to just copy and paste as best as, you know, as much of a group as you can, and then use the blend tool in between as much as you can. You can see I still have a little bit of a kink here. I could probably try to repair that, but it's not that big of a deal. I'm not spazzing about it. You can see I didn't fix that strap on the backpack yet on this version. However, if you look at my version, it's fixed. You can see the strap still stuck to the backpack on my version there. So I was just showing you guys how I was working. So a lot of it is, like I said, just grabbing loops. You know, you got to define the loop first, and then you can loop that, and then you could grow from here and shrink from here. And you should try to work in clusters like this as much as possible. It's just easier, especially, you know, because the blend tools, this button really does. It really is kind of magic, and if you didn't know about it, congratulations, you just stepped up to the freaking big leagues for real, because this will save you a lot of time, and so will this getting you started, the voxel solver. You can see that my head was all screwed up, but my original he's working pretty good now. The skin weights aren't horrible. Everything's working as is. I don't get a whole lot of penetration. I get a little bit of penetration here. I considered Apex cloth for this piece, but it's not worth it. And not only is it not worth it, but I also know that it's not going to behave properly. It's going to spaz. I don't have enough detail in there to warrant it anyway, and it's going to be better for me to skin weight it. So I mean, he works now pretty much. I think. Let me come out of that. Go in there. Again, if I can't select bones after I come out of the skin modifier, just hit Control A and then click out, and you can do it. Then we come here, and let's take the dodge roll and stop ignoring that. It goes away. Oh yeah, well, you know what? These animations are not taking into account. You notice his ears and his jaw are broken here. That's because I created this animation before I created those bones. So when I added those bones during this animation state, they don't exist. Like it doesn't work. So I think what I can do to solve that, this is just a cat rig thing, is select all of those. Oh shit, I think I gotta do them one at a time. That's the only problem. It's one thing I don't like about cat rig is you can't work on the whole, more than one thing. And I should be able to say, like, the local weight is 0, and as you can see, I can kind of repair that part of the animation. It did do the entire hub, by the way. You can see that's a local weight of 0. And if I come up here and say, like, the jaw has a local weight, it's the whole hub. I can't do anything. I can't do anything about it, but that's pretty cool. So I'm gonna leave you with this expression, because this is how I feel about this video. However you feel is up to you. Let me know in the comments. Hopefully it's like this and you feel all cute and warm and fuzzy. But if you feel like this, like you've gone all cross-eyed, then you know you're on. You actually know you're on the right track. So this is Hitboss signing off. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. One last thing I completely forgot to mention. Doing all that actually did fix the mirroring problem. So like I said, if you do manage to combine your meshes, or you bring in a new, you attach a new piece, and that piece does have mirrored stuff in it, and it for some reason they go red. All you got to do is save, reload, and it'll reassociate the mirroring plane, and it will pick it up again. Okay, so that does work. Like I said, I know that was like what I was talking about in the very beginning of the video, and I kind of drifted away from it. But that the fundamental problem being that I could no longer just fix one hand and then mirror it over to the other. I would have had to reskin the other hand too, and that would have been a pain in the ass. Just because for no reason it's not recognizing it. Yeah, if that ever happens, dump this, and reload it. Just make sure to save it first so you don't lose the weights that you got. Hippos signing off.